Welcome back to another video, and before we start this video I want to give you a disclaimer. This preset I show you in this video is only available for my Patreon, so you need a Patreon subscription to download this. Okay, so in this video it's about the preset called Ultrafat, and I discovered this the last weeks because someone asked me about the SP404 compression algorithm. It's kind of a hidden secret how it works, and I try to discover or explore how I can achieve something like this in Bitwig. And I discovered something else which I really like, and I'll put this into a preset you can download, and it's called Ultrafat. And I show you how this looks here in Bitwig Studio so you can see for yourself. So this is the preset here in the bottom left, and usually when you have a compressor, it's like you have a threshold. I have a threshold too here, and everything above this threshold is pushed down. But in my case, it's pushed up, and it's pushed up until you reach the ceiling with your audio material. So every peak that it's above the threshold here is pushed up until you are at 0 dB. And this is, yeah, kind of an expander, I think, or maybe it's also a bit of a unique sounding preset. So I use also this compressor I just told you about in a FX3 container. So I have basically 3 compressors inside FX3 leveling out each band to 0 dB. And then after this container I have also again this compressor bringing everything down to 0 dB again. Then we have here a limiter at the end, so you can push everything into a limiter if you want to have it even more fat, even more louder, even less dynamics. And there's also a noise function where you can bring in a vinyl noise, which is then ring modulated with the audio signal. And there's a lo-fi function here, which is utilizing the DJ EQ, bringing in only the mid bands slowly. And then there's also a cross or X knob where you can change the crossover frequencies of the FX3, basically all two crossovers at the same time. You can push it together, or you can make it more wider, basically, so you can play around with this to find the sweet spot for your sound material. This is here my initial drum break. I'll show you how it sounds dry. So it's a normal drum break, and it sounds kind of dull. It's not leveled out, it's not normalized. So you can see there's a lot of space between the peaks and the 0 dB line. And it maybe also needs some EQing. So you can see here it's heavy on the low end. So we can maybe add here some EQ to give it some air. But this time we just want to use the Ultrafat here. You can see how this works. So again, I switch this on. So now you can see it's pretty much leveled out here. We have a straight line. We don't surpass here or exceed the 0 dB, or we actually don't go into the red at all. It's perfectly fine. And then if you want to make it more fat or louder, then you can play around here with attack and decay settings. So you can go from, I want to just level out everything to, completely want this destroy this drum loop, right? And there's also your lo-fi button. And this is how it sounds. So basically the threshold I only use to raise the threshold above the noise level. So I don't bring in the noise into the calculation of the loudness levels. So basically just use this to only use the peaks here of the kick and the snare and the hi-hats to make it louder basically. Then there's also your noise button, which brings in a vinyl noise. And then you can drive everything into a limiter if you want. And there's a volume button at the end, so you can be cautious with this because you can drive it into the red here. It's basically a volume tool at the end, so you can change everything loudness wise. Okay, so let's try this preset out on some different drum loops. So I have here an Apache break. Maybe let's do this, make this break a bit much quieter. As you can see, it's still raising the volume. So this preset basically tries to normalize all your audio material automatically while also containing or trying to level out the frequency spectrum. Okay, let's try out some more sounds here. Maybe we bounce this here out so you can see the difference in. You can see this is much louder. This one is exactly 0 dB. So everything is nice and loud and peaky, and it's not like it's crushed to death. It's more like the volume is just raised, and you can decide by using the limiter if you want the limiter. The dynamic range even more, or if you want to be a bit more loose on the compression here with the decay setting. So you can also maybe go full on. Bounce this out. You can see now I feel like a brick wall if you want, but you don't need to do that. This is also a practical example. You have like multiple bass sounds from different sample packs, and everyone has a different loudness and, you know, different balance, spectrum balance, a different intensity or dynamic range. And then you put it all together and it sounds like it's just put together. So you maybe use here the Ultrafat on this one. So right, everything has different loudness levels here. Maybe go for small fades everywhere. And then you put this on here and maybe go with the decay setting all the way down. So you get a nice even loudness. I think it's better than just putting a limiter on it and just compress everything. With this one here, there's at least a calculation between the distance of the highest peak and the ceiling, and then the volume is raised. So it's not like limiting. I think it sounds a bit different, but you can try it out for yourself. So maybe join this here. So, and bounce this down so you can see the difference here. So right, you get from this, you go to this, where everything is nice, even loud. The frequency is balanced nicely. And then you can go on and process this even more, or put it into the sampler or something like this. Okay, so this is the preset. In short, the vinyl noise is realized here with the FX grid and a sample, and it's just mixed in. And also I'm using the ring modulation here, I think, AM, RM. So you can, you know, switch between AM and RM, and also change the blend here, how much you bring it in. If you want to have more noise, then you can probably just drive here the blend up. But I think this is just enough here. Then the compressor itself, you can dissect this then when you download the preset. But the preset itself, or the compressor preset itself, is in this FX3 here, as you can see, for each band. And this then levels out the frequency spectrum. The DJ EQ is then here for the lo-fi effect. I also use this. It's the same concept like I did on the SP404 preset. And then we have a limiter and a tool. So it's not super complicated. The complicated part is basically here the compressor, where I try to get this thing going in a certain direction. I found it quite nice to have. It's maybe not the the realest compressor ever. It's more like a kind of a unique polarity compressor. Me trying to find a solution to something and discover something else, which I think sounds quite nice or unique. So you can play around with this, have some fun. Maybe give me some feedback if you have some something you would do differently, or you don't like at all. Then I can change it and update the preset along the way. Okay, so that's basically it. You can download this preset on my Patreon page. The link is there. Also, if you are a YouTube member, you can download also this one in the community section here on YouTube, and have some fun and give me some feedback, of course. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. There's, I think, a new video coming tomorrow. Kind of a tutorial, so useful for everyone. Okay, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.